Harry has cut a lonely figure attending an Invictus Games event in London held just 4.8 kilometres from King Charles' garden party at the same time. Let's bring in royal commentator, associate editor of The Telegraph, Camilla Tomin. Camilla, good morning to you. 4.8 kilometres, but it may as well been a world away.
Yeah, we call that 3 miles, but you can stick with your kilometres. I mean, they are a world away, aren't they? He's at St Paul's Cathedral, just down the road from Buckingham Palace, where the King and Queen are putting on their first garden party of the season. The sun actually shone in London today, which is a first for this entire year. And there wasn't a meeting. And there's been a bit of confusion, Carl, about exactly how this played out. We had Prince Harry's people sort of telling the press, giving them a briefing, saying that the monarch had told him that he was too busy to see him. But then on the Buckingham Palace side of things, they couldn't really confirm whether there had been an approach to see him anyway. So kind of reading between the lines, it seems to me that there isn't even a back channel between father and son right now, let alone an official channel, which I think people will find quite intriguing. On one hand, of course, we understand the tensions at the heart of this family, post-Oprah, post-Netflix, post-Spare. But we also know that the royal family has not had the easiest of few months. We've had the King undergoing cancer treatment. We've got the Princess of Wales also undergoing cancer treatment. You might have thought this was a time for a royal rapprochement, but he wasn't here for long for this Invictus 10-year anniversary. The sad thing about it, Carl, 10 years ago, a decade ago, of course, he was surrounded by his royal relatives to launch this initiative. It's been hugely successful. It's probably the most successful thing he's ever done. And then when he appears today at St Paul's Cathedral, to be fair, he was with some of the Spencers. Earl Spencer, his uncle, Diana's brother, was there along with her sisters, but not a royal in sight.
Look, just to clarify one thing, an approchement, is that some sort of weird Norwegian...
Rapprochement. Rapprochement. It's a little bit of franglais, Carl. I mean, I appreciate we invented the language and you borrowed it, but...
we made it better. We made it betterer. We made the language betterer. Can't, Camilla. Hey. All right, so I want to say one thing about Harry, because I think if the dude has mercilessly bagged the royal family, he's let down the king. And if you don't want to be part of it, don't be part of it. But don't expect to get invited over. I will say this, though. What he has done with Invictus Games and for veterans is nothing short of exceptional. And this morning we saw how it got to people whose family members were in the games and what difference it made for them. This is a great thing that Harry has done.
Yeah.
But there, go on.
I remember being with him at the Warrior Games in Colorado. So this must have been about 12 years ago. I was on a job with him. He went on the tour. He saw the Warrior Games, which is the US equivalent, and it just captured his heart. And he then decided he wanted to bring that to the UK initially. And now, obviously, it's become a global initiative. There is no doubt, Carl, that you can never take away from this bloke what he achieved in the military and what he's achieved with Invictus. All of the family pressures aside, but that's also what makes it a bit tainted and sad today, that he's celebrating the 10th anniversary of the greatest thing he's ever done, and his father, his brother and others aren't there.
I agree. The whole thing is bloody sad, as we say here in Australia, which is the King's real language. And you won't mind if I now go and have an approchement with Alex.
Approchement.
An approchement?
Sarah,
What is it?
can you tell him? Can you tell him, Sarah?
I'm trying.
I will never get across that stuff. Anyway.
Truly.
Thanks, Camilla.
Bye.
See ya. Welcome back to the show. King Charles has snubbed Prince Harry, choosing to host a garden party at Buckingham Palace instead of seeing his son.
The Duke of Sussex is in London to mark the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games with a service at St Paul's Cathedral. Let's bring in GB News' royal correspondent Cameron Walker in London. Cam, good morning. Good to see you. It's not a good look for royal reconciliation, is it? Doesn't look like it's happening.
Good morning. No, I think it's certainly the elephant in the room, isn't it? What we do need to remember, of course, is the King's diary is planned months and months in advance. And if Prince Harry only asked last minute to see his son, you perhaps can see a situation as to why that wasn't possible. The royal family, of course, very different to a normal family. It is all through about logistics and operations. But come on, I think a lot of people are thinking, okay, you've got cancer. Is there not 10 minutes in your diary, even for dinner, to see your son? That's what some people perhaps would say. But the king was busy because we saw him out and about. You're seeing these pictures here of the garden party at Buckingham Palace, which he hosted alongside the Queen and some other senior members of the royal family. And Prince Harry himself was very busy at the Invictus Games 10th anniversary service at St Paul's Cathedral, where I am. But it's just distracting from the whole point why Prince Harry was here, which was celebrating veterans and all their achievements. So it's a real problem for the royals.
Well, I think, I mean, no one knows how you're going to feel when you've got cancer. And but I do know one thing, that stress in any way, shape or form you want to avoid. So maybe that's playing into Charles. But when I saw Harry this morning, I was very moved by the service, and that's when I felt like, oh, God, it'd be good if they got to see each other. Is it an impossibility?
I don't think it's impossible. And I think from a statement which Prince Harry's spokesperson gave me yesterday about the fact that Prince Harry was very understanding that his father couldn't see him, was a far flung away from a statement I would expect to receive from the Sussexes just a couple of years ago, when the late Queen stripped Harry of his honorary military titles and patronages. There was a very infamous statement which said service is universal, and a lot of critics of Harry and Meghan saw that as a bit of a disrespectful move from them towards the late Queen, and also very bitter. Whereas the statement I received yesterday, very diplomatic, very warm, and sounded a bit like a royal press release, which suggests to me that Prince Harry really does want some kind of reconciliation with his father. He does want to improve the relationships, but it's a very long road and a very slow road to go down.
The back of the king's mind will be that, is this going to end up in a Netflix episode? That's the reality.
Can't be so pessimistic.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
It's about trust, isn't it?
Exactly.
And I think a lot of the royal family are very hurt by what Harry wrote in Spare.
Great to see you.
Edward Godfrey is in London covering this story for us. Edward, the King was not present. He's preoccupied with other duties.
He was, yeah. They're very close by. The news websites over here in the UK have got maps running showing where all the royals were today. It's a little bit funny, but yeah, no crossover between the King and his son Harry. There was quite a large crowd though gathered outside St Paul's Cathedral this afternoon, our time. Prince Harry giving a big wave as he made his way up the cathedral steps. Those in attendance there included his late mother's siblings Earl Spencer and Lady Jane Fellows. His lawyer David Sherborne was also there. He's the one who's been leading Harry's numerous court cases against the tabloids. And Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's wife was also in attendance. The event was to mark 10 years of the Invictus Games, something started by Prince Harry in 2014. And inside the service, Prince Harry gave a Bible reading.
There are varieties of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are varieties of services, but the same Lord.
Now, while this was going on, just across town at Buckingham Palace, his father, King Charles, was hosting a large garden party for thousands of volunteers, his biggest event in some time, certainly since his cancer diagnosis. Senior royals were in attendance, including Queen Camilla, as you'd expect, Princess Anne and Prince Edward. So he and Harry may have been close by, but not close enough, it seems, to catch up. The King's scheduled far too busy, Carl and Sarah, and as you'd imagine, it's only reignited talk over here about the rift between the Sussexes and the royal family.
I do hope that he does get to see Harry. That was so powerful this morning, that church service. And you could see the families of some of these Invictus Games people really emotional. Harry got emotional. It was powerful stuff, Edward.
It is, and it's something that means so much to him with his military background. And we heard him talking about that yesterday, talking about some of his favourite highlights over the years. So something very close to his heart, and he's said that he started a global community in what everyone's doing. So a very important initiative, and lots of supporters there want to see that continue on for many years to come. Harry is here, still in London this evening. He's expected to leave tomorrow, we believe, where he'll be joined by his wife Meghan, who's back in Los Angeles. They'll be heading to Nigeria for an Invictus Games event there. All
right. It's certainly a great thing he's done with Invictus.
Yeah. Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and...
What's my name again?
Oh my God, Carl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports, and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
That never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?